Hey guys, this is
Hello.
Level Up Session 9 with Darek Zabrocki.
Hello.
Oh yeah. And our special guest, Jonas De Ro.
Hello.
Yeah, so my name is Wojtek and tonight we will do some demoing, we will do some overpaints, and we will answer questions that you will submit by clicking just, you should have in here, you should have a link to questions and answers, and then the screen will pop up and you will be able to type in questions that we will see live and we will be able to answer. So just try it and we will see if it works. We are using it for the first time. So let me talk a bit about Level Up. What's Level Up? And because I see we have here a lot of people that haven't been here before. So, all right. Level Up is an initiative from me and Darek that's also here. We are trying to help people by talking with really experienced individuals in the field. And also we are trying to overpaint works that are submitted to our Facebook group that is called Just Level Up. And I've seen a lot of confusion going on lately with our initiative because it doesn't seem so easy to understand what it is about. So we will basically try to set up a site, website that will show every video we did in one place, also an overpaints, PSDs from people that were overpainting, and before and after. So you just have to give us a little bit of a time, and then we will launch the site, so it will become really easy to understand the whole thing. Also, we tend to have some technical issues in here, like Google Hangout tend to drop us out, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So I hope you don't mind, because we are doing it really for free, and it's all our free time. We have a professional lives that we have to we have to get by. So just we are trying to do our best, but it tends to not work out as we want. But still, we just want to make it as smooth as possible. So I think that's it for an introduction, and let me introduce our guest. Jonas is just an amazing concept artist. He worked for MPC, like Warner Bros., Wizards of the Coast, just crazy stuff, Square Enix, and he's just, you probably know him, and that's why you are really here. His stuff is just amazing, and yeah, we are really appreciating that you are here with us today. That's really cool. You have some time to join us, so thank you.
You're welcome. It's Sunday, so
Yeah, that's why we are hosting it right now. So basically, what we will do during that stream, first off, we will let magic happen. So Jonas will do his quick demo, or maybe something more if we will ask him for, and then we will begin overpainting session. So we will pick and choose work from a Level Up group, and Jonas will do also some overpaintings, and while, for example, Darek will be doing his, I will be talking with Jonas, answering questions. So, okay, I have a pretty nice question right now that has like 9 votes. It seems that all the talented artists have facial hair. Do you think that if I grow a beard, my skill will exponentially increase? Like, Darek just shaved, right? You just freaking shaved.
Yeah.
I think
and still look like
it's
homeless.
just the result of a very poor lifestyle and bad diet.
Like, we live in our caves.
Yeah, exactly.
In the darkness.
Yeah, like you can see, it's freaking dark everywhere, so our caves look like that. Okay, cool. So that was just the first question. Let's the demo begin. Let's get rid of our ugly faces. I will share my screen. Let's do a screen share, guys. We have almost 600 people here, and that's crazy, really. That's like the biggest session we have ever done. So, welcome, and let's the magic happen. All right. So, Jonas, your screen is up.
Yep.
And you are free to go.
Okay, so I'm just gonna do a little painting based on what I shared on the spit paint group today, which was like a 8-minute painting, but I'm not gonna go too fast so you can actually see what I'm doing. But yeah, I'll just sort of try to explain along the way. So okay, so I've got a canvas over here. I'm just gonna quickly make a little gradient, and then
Jonas, I will ask questions during your
go ahead.
your thing, if you don't mind. But
No,
still, yeah, just do your thing. So I see you having swatches on the right.
Yeah.
So are you like preparing it before? Oh shit. Come on. He was dropped. Let me just get him back.
Oh.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, guys, we have that issue with Google Hangout dropping out people, and it's super irritating. I hope it will disappear soon. It's a Google Hangout thing, and I have no idea why is it happening. It's happening like always. Yeah, so just give me a minute. I will contact him, and he will go back. Yeah, Dark is here.
Yeah, okay.
You know, he probably doesn't know that he was dropped, and that's shitty, because he's probably doing his demo right now without us looking at it. The misery began, like, freaking, oh god, I hate that.
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
Sorry guys, I got kicked off.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Why?
freaking crap.
I mean, last time it also happened when I was painting, didn't it? I feel like.
Yeah, probably. It may be connected with a memory thing.
Yeah.
That's shitty.
That is quite shitty. Yeah.
Yeah, so I will just hit you on Facebook whenever it will drop, right?
Yeah, let me just
Screen share again, yeah. Freaking Google. Oh shit, you just fucking did it. Done.
I don't know when I dropped out, so.
It was freaking planned. You dropped like, you just, oh fuck, man.
Should I start again?
Sure.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, man, because it's like, you just freaking nailed it right now.
Okay, so. But please keep talking to me, because otherwise I think I dropped out.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so maybe Wojtek, you can just put the questions, and one questions. Okay, just put the questions from a lot of on the chat.
Okay, I will. Alright, so, but maybe let the demo go. You know, I have questions about like swatches. So you are using swatches from that you found somewhere, or you?
No, actually, I never use swatches. I just have these up now. That's what I was saying before. I just have these up now because I wanted to recreate what I did this morning. So I just sort of color picked.
Okay.
What I did then. But actually, I'm not a swatch person. Yeah, usually I just sort of eyeball the colors, or I look for a photo that I like and I color pick some colors from there.
So these are your brushes that you're using right now. You have
Yes.
shared them, right?
Yes, I have shared these.
Okay. I've seen your brush set. Even I have used it a lot, and it looks very efficient. You have it really structured, and it's really efficient to use them. What's your thinking process when you're creating them? Like.
I want to be able to find brushes quickly because I think it's annoying to go through this huge list of brushes that aren't named, and then you end up spending as much time looking for brushes as you end up painting. So that's kind of not fun. So I just sort of came up with my own logic on how to organize them. So I've got them organized. I've got basic, then I've got, these are just all the basic brushes. Paint or everything that sort of looks like a paintbrush.
Yeah.
And then environment is all sort of the stuff that I'm using now, like like some rock stuff, water stuff, sparks, that kind of stuff. And then nature, I guess that would go with environment, but I've separated because there's so many different ones. This is all the grassy stuff and trees and everything that's plant based. And then special is stuff that doesn't really belong in any other category. And in the end, I've got some guide brushes, which is helping for perspective and stuff. I don't use them that often because I've got like some better perspective tools now. But yeah, I just stick them in there for sometimes they sort of come in handy. So, but I'll show that actually later.
Okay, so what the hell you just did?
I just sort of copied the canvas and sort of flipped it around so that I can do some water reflections. So I'm gonna merge the layers so that I can have a bit better performance.
So when you have everything set, you are more aware what to use in that moment you want, and it's like a natural thing for you, just going through the brush you really want and which will be accurate.
Well, yeah, I mean the thing is like I usually know what I'm gonna paint before I start painting it, so it's kind of
Yeah, we were talking about it just before the session began. So you have an idea for a painting before you will start it, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so what's the advantage of doing that? Because I also have seen people working from abstraction to, to
well, I don't really know if there's an advantage. I mean, it's a lot faster, but I guess that's just my way of working. I don't really start a painting. I'm like, okay, so I've got an empty canvas. Okay, I'll just start doodling and see what comes out. That's just not me, Like, for me, it's more like, okay, I'm looking at a documentary, or I'm looking at photos, or I'm looking at something, and I'm just like, wow, that's cool. I'm gonna paint, and I just put on Photoshop and I just start painting, and then I usually go about it as fast as I can, and then after half an hour I'm like, okay, I'm done, and I save it, upload it to Facebook, and go do something else, go eat, or do something else. So that's just because that's how my brain sort of works, and that's how I paint, because I like painting just for the fun of it,
So I've been following your work for quite a bit of time right now, and I've seen you traveling a lot. Also, how does it affect your inspiration? Like, I think
oh man, so much. I mean, like if I haven't traveled for a while, I feel like my art becomes so much more cliche and boring. And because the thing is, like, you need inspiration for somewhere, and if you're sort of sitting in the place that you live, and you go on Facebook and you see all this stuff, then usually you sort of get inspired by other concept art, and I think that's a bit dangerous because a lot of people start making the same stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I feel the same way right now because I've been to States for 2-3 months, and I felt how much it affected my art. But right now I'm sitting in Poland, and it's freaking me out really, and I want to just explore, and I can also relate it to the art I'm doing. It's really So you basically applied a box blur.
I did a box blur on the plants in the foreground, and then because people have been wondering how I do the sort of out of focus thing. It's just in CS6. I'll just show it again. In CS6, there's a new filter. There's a couple of new blur filters that are really nice. Oh, hold on. I just have to open the door for a second. I'll be right back.
Sure. All right. Guys, if you have any questions, like I see tons of questions right now, and
yeah, let's maybe put the questions when the Jonas will be making overpaint.
Yeah, sure.
Let him make demo to the end and.
Yeah. So feel free to ask questions in the question and answer section. You can access it through clicking in the lower left corner. Yeah, the new window will appear with interface to type in questions. We will try to answer all of them. Yeah, he's back. Yeah, so bugs blur.
Yeah, so this blur I was talking about, basically, I'll just do like a bad example. If you get some highlights somewhere, it works like a real camera, and I'm really happy that Photoshop finally included this. And you go to blur, and then you've got field blur, iris blur, and tilt blur, tilt shift. And tilt shift is what I just used, which works like a tilt shift lens. I don't know if you know it, but like you know those photos that kind of look like miniatures, but they're actually of big sceneries?
Yeah, yeah.
That's done with a tilt shift lens. It's a kind of lens that...
like cityscapes or...
Yeah. It's a kind of lens that blurs in a sort of non-realistic way because of how the mechanics work inside. It's a bit technical. So this is what I'm using here. And then the blur effect, usually you can see it here on the right-hand side. They're off, so it's a bit hidden. But if you turn that on, you get the bokeh, which is basically the highlights that take the shape of your aperture.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I used it before, but I didn't know about the hidden option. Right there.
Yeah, it's not very clear, but you can see how the highlights that I just drew. You can see how they how they become these sort of specular. It's the same if you would take a camera and you would play with the focus, you would get that.
That's true.
They don't have any options for the shape of the iris, though, so they're always going to be round. With the real camera, they can be hexagonal or some other shapes. There's a really good filter that I used to use instead of this called Iris Filter, which is from a Japanese company, but it's very old and they haven't updated to 64-bit, so it doesn't work in the 64-bit Photoshops. But it does the same, but even better, like it emulates a camera. So basically, yeah, that's just a trick to get the out of focus. It's actually really easy, and you can sort of set the fields here, you can see, and the other ones are quite similar. Just iris is basically circular, so same principle but circular. Something that you actually can't really do with a real camera. And then I guess the field blur is actually just an overall one, so that will just do to the entire image.
Yeah.
And then you can play around with those settings over here.
That's nice. They are from CS6 or CS5? CS6.
CS6,
probably, right?
yeah. They're not in CS5, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. All right.
So how about the colors, Jonas? You have the colors in your mind, or you just thought that you searched for references, but there are references for the shapes, for overall mood, and you play around with colors later, or you just try to keep the same mood as on the photos, or how it worked for you? You change it anytime?
It depends, like there's so many different approaches, and I don't always take the same one. For example, sometimes I'll just color pick stuff and then you see how it goes, but other times I'll sort of grade the image if I'm not happy with it. For example, let's say here that I think this is sort of boring. The way that I usually grade images is a very, very particular way. Is I copy the layer and then I set it to overlay, and then I go into a gradient map, which is over here. And a gradient map is a really nice way of grading your image, because if you understand how it works in combination with overlay, you actually have full control over how your image grades. And basically what overlay does is it lightens your image if you pick a value that's lighter than the neutral gray, and it darkens it if you pick a value that's darker. So if I'm going to take, I guess 128 would be perfectly neutral gray, okay? So let me just stick 3 neutral grays in there. So now you can see nothing has changed on this image, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so here we've got these 3 neutral grays, and left you got the highlights, and right you got the shadows, and middle you got the midtones. So if I go to this one and I pick a color, you can see that the red is now only applying in the shadows. So you can perfectly grade the shadows alone. Now maybe I want warmer highlights, so I'm gonna pick like sort of yellowish. This is not a great color palette. It looks like something off of Instagram, but you get the idea, And then you can sort of play around with the ratio between the different ones. And you can add as many as you want. And basically, if there's an area in your image that you don't want to grade, you basically fill that with neutral gray, and it will not affect that. So that's one way. And then another way that's quite nice is you can use the match photo. So I'll just
Yeah, that's the trick from texture kind of a workflow, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't always work as good, but let's just say I'm gonna.
Just good for enriching the palette sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it works good, and it's kind of trial and error. But like, I just took this lens flare, and I'll just take match color, and okay, I'll have to play with the luminance, obviously, and you can play with the settings. So yeah, see now I've got this, and then maybe I want to put some clouds in there, so I'll just let's see.
So are you organizing your references the same way you are organizing your brushes?
Yes, like a freak.
Yeah, it's like your toolbox, right? You want it the best you can.
Yeah, and just like on professional jobs, it just saved my life so many times, actually having everything really well organized, So, this is how Darek would, do his skies.
Yeah, great. So it's pretty important as we see that you have everything set in your reference. Everything is organized. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, my reference folder it's like over 100 gigs, and it's just all stuff that I've collected over the years, and I've literally put days and days of work into it. And there's also a lot of stuff that I made myself or took myself, because I work for CG Textures, so like I've made thousands of textures already, and I've also bought like a lot of 3D models and stuff like that. But for example, this folder with birds, I have literally like just cut out tons and tons of birds, so I can just drop them in, and I don't have to do anything. Like they're just ready to go.
But when we talked together, you told that sometimes it takes you hours to make a good shot for birds, for example, birds which are flying, and after that you are pretty done with that. You can just paste it into Photoshop.
Yeah,
exactly. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sometimes I just sit in front of the window because there's a lot of birds passing here where I'm staying now. There's always a lot of birds flying over, and I just take pictures of birds and cut them out and stick them in my folder.
So basically, your travels
they are
enhanced your whole.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I use a lot of stuff from my trips, and actually, I think my best art is based on stuff that is inspired from traveling and not from looking at other concept art.
So how exactly does it affect? Like, you are taking a photo of an interesting, like a view or something, and then you are using it as a base for a concept, or?
Yeah, let me just give you an example. Like, for example, this piece. Can you see it, right?
Yeah.
This piece is inspired by India, so like I used a lot of my photos that I took when I was in India, and it's just stuff that you see there, like you know, I remember that in this one city, like these dogs were just running through the streets, you know, like crazy dogs that, you know, would really scare you, and just running through the people, and then people with motorbikes and smoke and all this kind of stuff. And so like I stick all those ideas together in one painting basically. And a lot of it is based off of memories of things that I saw and that I liked and that were interesting. For example, like this one is based on a place in Bangkok where I was I was passing a railroad and I saw people running on the railroad. I was like, that's weird. Like, in Europe, you're not going to run on the railroad because, you know, the police will, or the security will stop you. And I was like, okay, I'll just follow these people. And so I just started walking on the railroad, and I saw that there were just people living on the railroad, literally, like, and there was like couches between two tracks, and people would chill out and sit on, you know, on the couch, and there would be trains passing them by. And I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, you don't see that stuff in concept art, so, you know, and then you make things based on that, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. So basically, travels are influencing your like thought process, like your ideas, like crazy, right?
I would say they are an extension of. They are definitely an extension of each other.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It just shows how important is it to moving, and not just sitting like we do in this shitty country.
Sedentary lifestyle.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's good too.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
How often are you like traveling, going out, and how does it work? Is it like connected with your work, or is it only for fun? How does it work for you?
Well, I try to travel as much as I can. Last year, in 2013, I traveled for 5 months, which is a lot.
Lucky you.
The year before it was 4 months. The year before it was 3 months. So I guess it's going up. But the good thing is, if you take your laptop and your tablet, which I take with me everywhere, you can do freelance jobs. So I was 2 months ago. I was in near Burma with a couple of friends, and I was doing some, you know, freelance jobs. You know, in the evening, and during the day, I was just sitting on the beach and, you know, swimming. So
that's like a idyllic kind of a situation for a freelancer, right? That's like a end-up goal for a lot of people that want to do concept art, like, you know, traveling all around the world and still working for awesome companies, doing awesome projects, but actually enjoying your life. That's
yeah, exactly. Because, you know, like, it's a really great industry to work in, but the problem is that you end up sitting in front of a bloody computer screen most of the time, and it's not really good for your physical health and all that. And yeah, I mean, for me, like, after a while, I just have to get out there and, you know, like, run and swim and ride motorbikes and party and, you know, climb mountains and do that stuff, just as a sort of, well, for many things, you know, like for your health, for your mental health, but also for your inspiration, like for your visual library. You know, seeing real landscapes is different than seeing any landscape on a photo. Like, there's no camera that can capture what you actually see with your eyes. Like, your eyes are still the best camera there is, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jonas, can we ask you for one more like demo on just whatever you want, because you just got so fast with it? Like,
yeah, sure.
It's just crazy. Like that 8 minutes was true, right?
And if you can just save the one, save that and save another one into the PSD, so yes, so people can, you know, just see it after the session.
I scribbled a little bit on that one, so I just have to get rid of that. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. 1 second. I don't know what I'm doing here.
And guys, thank you for your questions. We see all of them, and they are awesome, and we will try to answer them as soon as the...
Yeah, let's make him another demo, and after the demo, maybe we can just start questioning.
Questioning. Questioning.
Save this stuff out.
Actually, I feel pretty inspired by your like workflow.
It's so organized.
Yeah,
Just
it's so
clean
clean.
to see. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think like the speed painting workflow that I use is, you know, it's not really that special. I think a lot of guys that I see on the spit paint group, they use a similar workflow. I mean, you sort of
Yeah,
have
that's true.
to, you want to. I mean, I'm sure that Darek, you know, he would
Mhm.
do exactly the same as I just did here in the same amount of time. I think an important thing of when you're working fast, and I think most people who, you know, who do concept art know this because you see it all around, is the fact that you have to work with silhouettes, because you don't really have time to render stuff out that's
Yes.
lit from the front. So you light everything from the back.
Mhm.
So you can sort of just work with shapes, and the advantage of that is that it just reads really well. So it's just really easy to read.
So how about the values? And we can see that you are pretty fast with knowing the values and what you want to do without any corrections. So do you use any if you work with color, you can just
I use
switch on
guide layers.
yeah.
Yeah, I use guide layers. Like now I didn't do it because
Mm-hmm.
you know, this is kind of an easy setup, but there's paintings where I have to check the black and white values in order to
Yes.
see what I have to change. And so I've written an action for that. So basically, like, I just have to press F4, and there we go. So now I'm seeing it in values, and I can turn it on and off. So, like, now if I see this, I'd be like, okay, maybe we want to sort of put a little bit more focus on the center. So I'll just darken the sides a little bit where the sun's not shining. I guess it's sort of a vignetting.
So you are merging the layers pretty often when you have some complicated scene and there's something that you have to add or remove and your picture is merged. How do you deal with it?
Well, it kind of depends. Like if I'm doing client work, I don't merge my my layers because that will really, you know, work against you. Because then they want you to move something or scale something, and then you have to cut it out again. But on the other hand, I hate layers. So like,
Yes.
you know, it just gets so cluttered, and it just really annoys me, all those layers. So I'm always sort of itching to merge stuff. But I think a good way to do it, like if you really do want to merge, because it saves you time. It can save you time rather than, you know, waste time, because you don't have to go looking for layers. And a little annoying thing about Photoshop is that if you stick things in groups, you can't use the control click anymore to find the layer. Because normally you can control click and then it selects the layer, but for some stupid reason, when it's a group in a folder, it doesn't work anymore. So if you get like hundreds of layers, then, you know, after a while you're just spending time looking for
you are getting frustrated.
Yeah, and it gets a bit frustrating, and sometimes, and again with blending modes, it's kind of the same issue, because, you know, if you do certain things on blending modes and then you move something, and then maybe you did like a lighting layer, then you have to move that one as well. And, you know, if you just paint, you know, and you just work on one layer, it's easy. But the thing that you can do is, like, I always save in different iterations. So for example, if I want to merge these two, I'll copy them and I'll merge them. But if I still want to, you know, like now I can't paint behind these rocks anymore, but I still have the previous one, so I can still make a selection and then paint behind it. See?
So how would you proceed with like the painting on that stage? What would you do to it to, I don't know, get more detail, or how would you go further with that?
Well, the thing is, like, for example, here I don't really think it needs much more. Like the one like this that I posted earlier, some people said, you know, work another 22 minutes on it, and but it's not because you spend half an hour more on a painting that it's going to be better. And I found out from personal experience that it's sometimes on the contrary. Like I'm you know, painting and painting and painting, and then I look back at the older, more simpler version. I'm like, it's actually better, you know. Like, so I guess if I would proceed and spend more time, it would be fixing mistakes. For example, you know, like here there's some scale issues. Like I guess.
So how it how it look when you apply the textures to make it detail. I think that the Wojtek asked a good question. Let's assume that you want to push it further with a lot of textures, and can you just
yeah, I can give an example. Like if you want to put photo textures in here, I think the value checking layer is very good when you're adding textures, because your values have to be exactly right for the texture to work.
Not to mess around at.
Yeah, so I'll just go to, let's see, landscapes, and then let's look for some.
Yeah, don't rush. We have like a lot of time. So.
Oh no, I'm just always like this.
Okay, so you're just fast, right? Do you have like a specific camera for that?
Yeah, I have a 5D Mark III, which is a lovely camera.
Yeah.
And you are using it for CG textures too?
Yes. Well, that's actually what I bought it for. It's the main.
How your work started with CG texture? Can you explain to us any issues about it?
Yeah, sure. It's the first like proper job that I got after I finished my studies, and that was I graduated in 2009. I studied animation, and 2D animation, so not 3D. And I was doing the backgrounds for my animation film, and I was just like, oh, this is taking so long. I wish there was a way to do stuff faster than just drawing it, because in that time I had no idea I did not know what concept art was. I did not know what textures were. Like, no, nowadays guys that have my age that I had back then know all this stuff. I didn't know any of that stuff. And I think through some blog by accident I found out about CG textures, and so I went on the site and I was like, wow, what's this? You know, all these images of interesting stuff that I can use. And like I started playing around with it and trying to sort of blend it into my background. So like, wow, this is going to be a massive time saver, which it was. And back then there was still a forum on the website, and so I went into the forum and I said like, oh wow, it's really great and stuff, the things that you guys do here, but would you have any pictures of pipes? I was looking for pictures of like industrial pipes. And the guy who owns the website, Marcel, who's now a good friend of mine, he went out the next day and he just went and took like tons of pictures of pipes in some abandoned factories and put them online. I was like, wow, like this guy's amazing, you know. He's like, and so I was like, yeah, can I do anything? Can I do anything in return for you? I've got a camera, which was not a very good camera, but anyway. It's like, yeah, you can contribute textures, And but yeah, the kind of problem is people were contributing textures, but they didn't really know how to make them. So they were all like noisy or blurry, or and he'd have to process a lot. But he said to me like, yeah, your textures are pretty good. And for some reason, I mentioned on the forum that I was going to go traveling to India and to Kenya. And so the guy was like, hey, so I heard that you're going, to these countries. Can I give you a camera and you take textures from me? I was like, yeah, sure, like why not? So he drove over to my place, because he's from the Netherlands, so it's like a couple of hours. And he drove over to my place, and he came with this massive camera with this huge lens. I was like, whoa. And he said, like, just take pictures of anything interesting that you see, that you think that we can use. I was like, okay, cool. And so I made like mostly the stuff from India. It just blew his mind. Like there was just so much gorgeous stuff there. You can find them on CG Textures if you just type India in the search bar.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of like because there is an author kind of a title when you are looking up to the texture, and yeah. I've seen a lot of stuff from you up there. Actually, like most of the stuff is from you.
Yeah, I've got about 10,000 textures on there or something.
Crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And I still have thousands on my computer that are not there yet.
Yeah, to all of you guys that are working in concept art, you probably know that this site is just crazy CG Textures. I'm using it for like, I don't know, 2-3 months, and it's just a huge time saver. Before I tend to used only like Google Images search, and the quality that CG Textures provide is just awesome. And
yeah,
it's
like we're really on high quality. Like the 5D that we use now has about 5,500 pixels of resolution, and all the pictures are sharp. You know, all the chromatic aberration and vignetting and all that crap is removed automatically. So they're just
it takes a time to post-produce.
Lots of time. Yeah, I'm not doing so much anymore right now because when I started working for them, I didn't have any jobs yet because I wasn't doing concept art or anything like that. And so that's actually how I started to travel more, because the guy from CG Textures said, I'll sponsor your trips, and so he flew me to. I was a long time in South Korea taking textures, and he paid for the flights and everything. So I was living the dream pretty much.
Yeah, amazing opportunity to.
Yeah, it was great. Like, and I can't thank that guy enough, because he really, he changed it for me.
Yeah, that's the experiences you get traveling somewhere are just freaking priceless, and also like it's just visible in your work. Just crazy amount of like things you have seen are just resembled just in your work. That's amazing.
Well, in some stuff, there's a lot of bad cliche stuff as well.
Yeah, we are all doing cliche stuff.
Yeah, because that's what the clients want in the end. So.
Yeah, of course, that would sells.
Yeah,
also.
exactly.
Yeah, so you just pasted mountains, right?
Yeah.
And they're looking just amazing. So you were just focusing on values, right?
Yeah. So when I pasted them in, I turned on the value layer just to see like how low the contrast should be, because the problem is if you introduce anything, like in concept art, you're almost always working with fog and haze to have a better read, which is a bit unfortunate because that's not really how the world is most of the time. But anyway, we do it. But so if you take something from a picture, the contrast is always going to be too hard, and I find it really hard to see what the right contrast has to be if you're not looking in values. So if I paste this thing in now, no, if I want to use that, the contrast is too hard. But if I see, like now I can see it much better, like okay, it needs to be a lot lighter. And then like, okay, like yeah, that's sort of it. And then you can just start, erasing.
It's amazing how, like I wouldn't suspect that photos would blend that well together.
That's because the values and contrasts are wrong.
Yeah, that's true. It's really just working with contrast that fixes it.
The light angle is wrong on this one, so. And then once you're done with that, you have to look in color, because obviously the color temperature will probably be off as well. And one thing that I can also suggest to artists is I use actions. I don't know if you know Photoshop actions, but they can really save you a lot of time. And I have two actions, which is F4 and F5 for me. And they're basically, they emulate the white balance of a camera. So because all the pictures that you use have been taken with a certain white balance setting. So if you know white balance, you're either going to get a warm image or a cold image, depending on the temperature of the actual light. So often, something will be either too cold or too warm. And there's no real way of changing it in Photoshop, but you can sort of fake it. And see, I've got an action. So see, now I'm increasing the warm color balance. And if I press the other button, I'm going into the color white balance.
Right.
So it's very handy to when you drop something and you're like, ooh, this is too warm. You just press those buttons. And I'll show you how to do it. So it's basically a 4 and a 5. No, 5 and a 6. Well, you're basically going to, when you record, actually going to go to Adjustments, Color Balance. And you're going to adjust the first one and the last one. And so if you want it colder, you're going to bring the cyan down and the blues up equally. So let's say -10 and +10. In the midtones, in the highlights, and in the shadows. And that pretty much emulates what would happen if you would change the color temperature in the white balance. And you can record that as an action, so that with 2 buttons you can just make stuff cooler or warmer as you go.
Okay, so it applies the same variable to the image as many times as you will click the button, right?
Yes, yes. And you can just sort of, if you want it to be subtle, you can just set the values lower. You do like a +1, and then you have to click it many times. Or you can do it more powerful, and then maybe use the fade. What's it called? Like fade last action, or whatever that function's called. So yeah, you can just do it however you want.
That's cool. That's pretty awesome, right? How much do you use it? Like, do you use it in post-production? Yeah,
I use it a lot. Yeah.
That's an awesome tip, really. Okay, so just setting up an action for white balance. That's cool.
I mean, and even when I'm not using photos, it's just a nice way if something feels too cool or too warm to just sort of play around with it,
Right, cool. So, all right. I think we can move on, or maybe you just have some stuff to work on, because I feel like you are done with that, right?
Yeah, I'm just noodling now. Like, this is how you waste time, by just not doing anything. Really.
So what?
I mean,
what
the basic setup is done in 5 minutes, so yeah.
What would you say about another 8-minute speed painting while I will ask you questions?
Yeah, sure. Or should I look at one of the overpaints, because I think we're already 45 minutes in, right?
Oh yeah. All right. Let's just take an overpaint. Like, you picked some work, right?
Yeah, I've got I've got one here that is from someone who's more of a beginner, but I kind of like the concept. But like, I think this is a very good example to show the guy how to work with values the way that I do here. Because like, we could apply what we saw here onto this picture and make it read much better. Because I think it's a pretty cool idea, like a sort of weird, very weird six-headed deer. But if I look in the navigator, it doesn't read very well. Like, you can't really see what you're looking at. And I don't know if these are mountains with waterfalls or snow in the back. So yeah, I'll just do that one. So
yeah, and again, if you want your overpaint, like if you want an overpainting, just go to Facebook, type in Level Up into the search, and the group should appear, and you will be able to post your work up there, and we will try to get an overpainting of it during the next sessions.
okay, I have to keep everything on layers, right?
We would like to thanks for all who are still posting it, and we will do our best to get the critic and after with the picture which are suitable for overpainting sessions, and keep posting it. It's just enlarging, and we are pretty happy to see it. It's just developing. So yeah.
And Jonas, you don't have to be like very structured in terms of layer. Just go with the flow and do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, I'll just keep it separate so that the guy who made this can actually sort of look in, because I don't know if he's watching right now or not.
So basically, you're mimicking the composition, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep because I think the composition's actually quite good. It's just the image doesn't read very well.
Yeah, in terms of values, right?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna sort of apply the standard, dark foreground light background setup, and then we can, give it a bit more variety later on.
Alright, let me pick some questions. Okay. So this one is really good.
Yeah.
How would you recommend the best way of self-teaching concept art?
What we're doing right now.
All right.
I mean, like, I'm self-taught, concept art-wise mostly, but I wouldn't recommend the way that I did it because there was, we talked about this before a couple of years ago. There was no groups like this that would help young artists. You'd basically just see stuff online and be like, how the hell did those wizards do that?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but I'm definitely all for teaching yourself. Like I think it's great. And sometimes when I hear the stories about what art schools try to teach you, and how they sort of try to steer your mind away from anything that's sort of gonna get you a proper job.
Yeah, that's true. It's very European kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say so.
Art school style, kind of,
Yeah.
but it also happens in the States. So how have you self-taught yourself? Like, how did it work for you? How have you been studying?
It kind of went, well, with me, everything sort of started with DeviantArt, because that's the first art website that I knew. And I was just looking on there, and I was just looking at stuff, and it's like, oh wow, that's cool, And it actually has to do with my film, my last animation film that I made for school. I was doing the backgrounds, like I was telling you before,
Yes.
and I just really enjoyed doing that. And I was sick of drawing frames because I drew about 12,000 frames, which is a pile of paper that's almost as tall as me. And I was like, screw that, I don't want to do this for a living. So I was like, but yeah, background's cool. So I just started drawing animation film backgrounds and not really being aware of that it was sort of like concept art.
When exactly have you been, like, have you started?
I sort of started drawing backgrounds in 2008, and I started doing concept art in like late 2009. And I got my first big job in 2011, also through DeviantArt.
That's amazing, really. So how old are you exactly?
I'm not gonna share that. I'm 35.
Okay, so you look so young, man.
Yeah.
I thought you were like 20-something.
I am. I'm not 35. I'm joking.
Oh shit, really?
I'm just being an asshole. No, I recently turned 27.
Oh, fuck you, man.
Oh,
You're
man.
so good at that level. I mean, I was just so calm hearing that you're like 30. Okay, I have time. But fuck, I do not, man.
I mean, that's really nice of you, but like, I'm still late in the game, and I think most people from my generation, like people who were born in the late 80s, are still late in the game, You see guys now who are 17, 18, and they're at a level that I was when I was 24, Because
Yeah,
I didn't know about concept art, what it was, until I was 24. I'd never heard of the thing, And the people of the generations before me, it's even worse, and so it keeps on getting younger and younger, And but I think it's good, I think it's great.
Yeah, that's so true, because I've like the people that I see that work like blowing up lately are just freaking 17, 18, 19.
Yeah, and they're amazing. So
That's
you're gonna
crazy.
catch up. You're gonna
It's
beat
just-
all of us.
Yeah, that's true. Just put your ass out there and do a job.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. How long are you doing your paint per day? So how long are you painting per day, each day?
Well, that depends. If I'm at work, I'm painting 10 hours. Well, officially. But if I'm not working, then usually I'll do 1 or 2 paintings in a day. Those are the ones that I post online, and that will be like 3 hours maybe, or 4 hours, because I don't tend to spend that much time on personal paintings anymore. So I do them quite fast. But if I do like a detailed piece, I'll work on it for a whole day or a day and a half.
And how you deal, Jonas, can I ask you another question?
Yeah, sure.
It's pretty interesting. How you deal with complex perspective in your cityscapes and landscapes?
Oh, I will
with a lot of roofs and all the building stuff.
I'm actually going to show you a tool that's really amazing,
Mm-hmm.
And I will have to sort of postpone this overpaint just for a minute. So let's say I'm just going to take like a picture of one of my trips. So let's see. Let's take.
Oh shit, man. That list looks amazing.
Yeah. And how he has everything organized.
I mean, not organized, but all the countries. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's
You've seen a lot of stuff.
So, for example, like this is a picture that I would use to make like a detailed painting out of, because you know it's
Looks
cool.
like concept art already.
Yeah. So let me just scale this down because it's way too massive right now. So this is a quite complex perspective, and normally you'd probably create like some vanishing points and start moving the horizon line and blah blah blah, all this crap. It's a nightmare. That's how I used to do it. Now, how I do it now, and I have to thank Reed for this because he showed it to me. There's a plugin that you can download, and you'll get a little window over here on the right side. You can see here perspective tools, and basically, so if I'm just gonna draw one line and then another line. So I've got two lines here, you see it, right? And I've drawn that with the paths. So here's, the path tool. And then you go to this little plugin, you do create, and I'm going to take it to modifier. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. And basically he will draw, as you can see, he will draw the vanishing point.
Oh.
And it's perfect. Like, you don't have to mess around. Hold on, my computer's being a bit slow. And for these ones, usually it's not that hard to find them yourself, but the vanishing points going up into the sky are tricky, because
3 point, right?
3 pointed.
They're almost parallel, but they're not. So sorry, I think I have to redo it because something went wrong.
So basically, it creates a layer of perspective grid.
Yes.
On top of your stack layer.
Yes.
Layer stack, right? Cool. So where exactly we can get that perspective
I have to look it up, but if you just Google
perspective tool, Photoshop, or something.
Script, say perspective script, because it's a script that it uses, and it's a site from a guy. I don't know his name. It's free. You can download it for free. But if you go to, I think if you go to Reed's page, Reed Southern, and you check, I think he posted publicly recently. You can see he's got a download link over there. I don't know where the hell did it go. Why is it not visible? Something's going wrong. I'm supposed to have a vanishing point right now, but I don't. That's weird.
It's always it. Works like that, man.
The demo
700 people watches you doing things. Nothing works.
But you can do it with brushes as well. Like if you just use a vanishing point brush. I mean, that's really old perspective. That's really all there's to it. Now I'd have to go look for it. To go look for the vanishing point, but it's basically just a matter of lining these things up. The problem is that it's usually not 100% accurate, like you'll see that there are some mistakes somewhere.
Yeah, so basically use the tool as it works, and then when you have your perspective grid, you are starting to concept.
Yeah, so once you have that, well, this one I would have to scale up, obviously. Once you have all that stuff laid out, you can sort of turn them on, and then you can start painting. You just so I'll just cut out the sky for a minute. And then you just start working on top of that, and you just check your perspective layer to see that you're doing everything right. That's pretty much all there is to it,
That's cool. Thank you for sharing that.
So you started with making solids, and after that you use a lasso tool to make more solid selections, or?
Yeah, I would probably use a lasso tool for this. I wouldn't freehand paint this because that's too small.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just doing it to illustrate. But yeah, or what you could also do is you could just if you want the detail in there, you could just take a part of the building, and then that's like how I would texture stuff, and then just sort of skew it.
Yeah, and fit it in the perspective.
Fit it into the perspective. The only tricky thing with that is that you have to make sure that you add some edges so that it doesn't look too much like a flat plane, because that tends to happen. So if you've got a window, you might want to...
You have to make it pop.
Yeah, you might want to make like, a perspective edge. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing right now, just to show that it's that's actually the angle, so that it doesn't look like a flat, 2D plane, basically.
Yeah, that's cool, because the perspective has changed from the place you cut it from.
I mean, it's already a problem with textures. Like if you go to CG textures, you want to do like architectural stuff. So for example, here these facades. This looks like a straight picture, but it's actually not. Like this picture was taken in perspective, and if you look at the windows here, you don't really see an edge. It looks fine. It looks like from the front. But if you go up, suddenly, see, there's a big edge here. Because that's, because you're not flying when you take this picture. You're standing on the ground, like you don't have helicopters and stuff like that. So like it's impossible. So you're already skewing the image. And if you're going to skew that into another perspective, things start to get a little bit wonky, start to get fake. One thing that I do sometimes, maybe that will be interesting to show as well, is use SketchUp. Yeah,
actually the question contains the question contains a question. I mean, the person asked also for a SketchUp. Do you use it?
Yes, I do use it. Not that often. Like, I don't use it for landscapes, but for architectural stuff I do use it. I'll just quickly show how you can sort of solve this problem if you use SketchUp. Let's just find... Okay, so let's say that I want to use this, right? Come on. My computer's not happy about live streaming and running several programs at the same time.
We got the same issues all the time.
So I'll just save it here.
So you're creating your basic
solid.
shop.
Yeah, for some architectural stuff, I just have to do that because drawing it is just too insane. And you take the texture and you apply it. And so now you've got a flat plane. So basically this would be what you would get if you would just skew it in Photoshop. But in SketchUp, you can sort of trick the eye by pushing that stuff backwards.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice idea.
So you are texturing your basic models in the SketchUp.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, and just trying to get...
I render it with like a key shot or something that renders a bit better than
Yeah, than the standard renderer.
Because see now, like even just pushing that in, if I hold on, I have to turn off these ugly lines. You know, you already get a bit more depth to it, you know, and then you should probably do the windows separate as well, so you can push those in a little bit.
Yeah, and SketchUp is so easy to learn. It's so
fast, yeah.
And it's free. Like the basic version is free, and you can do like the same thing Jonas is doing now, just for. You can learn it in I don't know, just one day, I think.
Unless you can learn it in an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you just watch I mean, not doing advanced modeling, but just doing very basic stuff like I'm doing now. You can learn it so fast.
It's pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
When you just start in.
Oops. No, I'm doing a shabby job now, but you know.
Yeah, we get an idea of the workflow you're trying.
So you can already see that, you know, if I'm going to render this out, I'm actually going to get the illusion that there's some geometry there, you know. It's not just flat.
Yeah, and just took you 2 minutes to do it, right?
Exactly. I have an older painting that I did completely in SketchUp like that. Let me just look for it.
I just love the moods you have in your work. So good.
For example, this one, but wait, I should probably not look this up online, but I should probably show a high-res version of this. Ooh, I gotta be careful that I don't show NDA stuff. Where? Yeah, I don't even remember where I save my files. Anyway, I'm just gonna zoom in on Chrome. All these blocks here, like that you see here, this is all modeled in SketchUp, and then sort of apply the same technique that I just showed you now. All of these blocks, all this stuff, and then just sort of, you know, put them in position and render it out, and then start painting on top of it.
That's cool.
Pretty much it. I think I have some other ones that I did like that. Right. Oops.
I
love the Blade Runner painting you did.
Yeah, me too. I just wanted to say the same.
Crazy.
And how the hell did you do this in 4 hours? It's
well, I got lucky that the car, I don't know what the name is, but the Blade Runner car, there was a model of it on Google Warehouse. Someone had modeled it already, so I didn't have to model this anymore. So I downloaded that model, and I'd painted the background first, and then I downloaded the model, and then used the painting as a reflection map onto the model. So basically, it just automatically picks up the colors and the reflection of your environment.
Nice.
And Keyshot is such a good renderer for concept art, because it's so fast and it looks really good.
That's true. I also use Keyshot a lot, and super, like, even the preview looks good, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the materials are all there, so you pick some base materials, and then you just paint over it, because obviously this is painted over. Not that much, but you know, like the lights and all that stuff is painted over. Just
enough to, you know, make it look like one thing.
And it fit in 4 hours.
Crazy.
And the background, I have to thank my travels again, because I used a lot of photos from Shanghai. So basically, you know, these neon lights, these lanterns. I have all the stuff from photos. I used some stuff from Tokyo as well. And you know, doing neon cities is pretty easy, because you can just work with silhouettes, and then, you know, put lights on it, and you can set them to screen or lighten or color dodge or whatever, and yeah, that's it. You know, you've got it.
Nice.
You don't really have to worry about surfaces the way that you would have to worry about it in the daytime setting. So.
Okay, so let's just go back to the overpaint. We answered the question about how you managed to work on
In perspective.
complicated kind of stuff. So thank you for that. And let's move on with an overpaint. It's not an overpainting per se. It's maybe even better because you're explaining it from the ground, like you're creating from scratch. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of create from scratch, just so. Well, I'll bring back some stuff from the painting in a bit, so I just have to sort of do this first.
Yeah. Let me find a good question. Yeah, that's the good one. Dominique is asking, I always have trouble deciding what I should learn first. I want to improve on everything, such as anatomy, perspective, composition, color, and light. I wanted to ask, what is the best topic to start on? Or what one is the most important to focus on?
I would probably just say fundamentals. Like, I mean, I kind of learned everything backwards from how you're supposed to do it. Like, I'm still learning my fundamentals now, and I've always been pretty good at lighting. Like, that's the first thing that I sort of taught myself, because I just always liked lighting, playing with lighting. But I think the most important stuff that will, I think apart from how you render things, the fundamentals will make a piece stand out and look good, regardless of how finished it is. Like some stuff can be super rough. The fundamentals are right, it will look great. Some stuff can be super detailed and the fundamentals are off, and it just doesn't look right. So I would say perspective, composition, values, and scale, probably. Like, I would focus on those 4 things first. I mean, it's hard because, like, once you're used to drawing certain things, you start taking stuff for granted. Like, I maybe take it for granted that I know anatomy because I did model drawing for many years. So, like, I don't put this stuff on Facebook, but you ask me to draw a naked lady, I will draw you a very nice naked lady.
Oh yeah, we will ask you for that.
So, but yeah, obviously, I don't know. Like, I don't think
you have an experience like with your fundamentals, and that what's enable you to use all the shortcuts you're using right now, right?
I guess so. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say because, again, like, you take stuff for granted because you're used to. I mean, like Visual Library is one of those other things. Like, not everyone has it, but if you do have it, it's really hard to think of how it was when you didn't have it. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff is just in your head, so you just know what rocks are shaped like, or what the different trees look like, and those kind of things. So
yeah, so fundamentals, right?
yeah,
so,
I would say focus on fundamentals.
Yeah, and basically, when you have your fundamentals worked out, it's all up to you what you want to do. Like, doing concept art isn't doing concept art; it's doing very specific things like character design, like environment design. It's really broad, and you have asked yourself, what the hell do you want? Like, what do you feel you should do? And that's the point of learning fundamentals. How can you really express yourself in a very free way and also get a job, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we got that worked out. Are there any studies that you guys think are really important but are overlooked by many? Are there any studies that you guys think are really important but are overlooked by many? I don't think I understand the question. Do you, Jonas? Like studies like practicing certain things that is overlooked?
No, not really. I mean, it's such a wide gamut of things that you have to learn. So I don't think anything is overlooked. Like, again, if you talk about fundamentals, like, people always mention that because those are the basics. But obviously, it's you're drawing a visual world, so everything that exists in our visual world is important to some extent. So you can, and that's the beauty of it, because that also means that everything that you see in your daily life can be used as inspiration, and that can range from fashion, interior design, graphic design, like all these different things all have value, So
that's so true.
You should study everything, basically. Like, you should just have a keen eye for everything, and when you look around, don't just look. Actually, study. Look
Understand.
how this, like, just look outside, how the sunlight hits an edge, or like those kind of things, and think like, oh yeah, okay, I see, like, oh, I used to draw highlights there, but there are no highlights there. There's only highlights in this angle from the sun, whatever, like.
I think it's also about just moving away from your comfort zone and trying to be better with your weaknesses, and trying to fix them, and trying to develop your skills in the way you still feel that you are not that good.
Yeah.
And after you will just it's about this setting up everything. Everything needs to fit to create a good picture, because if there is something that pop out and looks pretty not on the same level that the rest of the picture, it just shows there's not something's going wrong, and you have to fix it, because the picture, even if some parts are amazing and one pretty fundamental stuff is missed or just not pointed accurately, you will see that the picture is not going to be that good as it has the potential. So
yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I was saying before.
Yeah, but also don't be obsessed about studying all the time. I mean,
yes.
I'm that type of person that can get pretty freaking obsessive about what I do. And what I think right now, after talking to Jonas today, is that I really lack inspiration and seeing things, like creating my visual library. It's also very important, and do not underestimate the value of living, just living and experiencing.
You also gain a lot of knowledge just looking at the things, not only just drawing. It's about the observation and
it takes time, right?
Yeah, getting inspired and
so living. That's the thing we should also
living's
practice.
Pretty important, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty important. Like drinking, yeah. Like,
okay, I guess that's even more important.
Yeah, that's sometimes even more important. But yeah, I mean, the way you live, Jonas, is really kind of the work you do and the way you were living. I suppose it really it really works together. It feeds you and it makes you creative and it lets you really work your like best. So that's really nice. And
yeah, I think it's just important in terms of sort of creating your own style. Like it's hard to judge if I have my own style, but people tell me I do, and I take their word for it. And I think that has to do a lot with how you live and where you get your source of inspiration from. Because if you're only looking at other concept art from video games and films and stuff, like your mind sort of gets set into this thing, and you're basically making cool versions of things that already exist and are cool.
Yeah, and it's so freaking true.
You are just trying to imitate the things that are made by others.
Yeah, but I mean,
not
you
like yourself. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you have to some extent, because a lot of clients want to see that kind of stuff. But a lot of clients don't really know what they want until they see it as well. So then they see something else and like, oh wow, this guy has like unique ideas. Maybe we should hire him. And I think setting yourself apart from the mainstream is good, is important.
Yeah, that also like trying your fuck, I lost my I'm just looking at you painting and I'm like talking shit right now, just I was about to say something and it was freaking important. I don't remember. Right, never mind. You are just pasting in the parts of the painting.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use some of his original drawing.
And you're blending it the same way you blend like anything else.
Yeah, I always have to blend in black and white because otherwise I just don't see it. I don't see it if it's too bright or too dark or whatever, So that's why I always blend it in like that. It just works a lot better.
Oh man, there is a question that has a lot of likes,
Okay.
and I have no idea if you would be willing to show us
No,
your.
is it a personal question?
No, no, no personal, but I don't know if you are comfortable with that. All right, could Jonas show us any of his earliest noob level artwork to show and encourage us to improvement is definitely possible and will happen?
Noob level. Oh, how noob are we talking?
Like zero level, like
Like
you know.
when, like 2 months after I was born. I have a
Like
picture.
the level
I have a picture of a poo that I threw on the wall. So.
Oh shit, that would sell for 2 million probably.
Well, unfortunately, all my stuff is in like my desktop, and all my old files and my hard drives are
Yeah.
in Belgium, and I'm in London right now, and I haven't actually moved that stuff here because I've been away. So I don't really have. But I'm gonna share something. You know, many of you might have already seen it, but I don't know if everyone's seen it. But I did a remake of a drawing a while ago, of a drawing that I did when I was, I think, about 10 or 11. Let me just...
The dragon, right?
Yeah, the dragon. So let me just look for that. It should be somewhere around here. There we go.
Yeah, so like you can see,
Good example.
improvement is definitely possible, right?
Yeah, it is possible. It takes time, but it's possible.
And it is visible.
Visible and possible, totally.
Yes.
I like your signature on your like 10 years old work, right?
Yeah, I abbreviated my first name. That's quite unique. I just like John.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. But you see, I already knew what copyrights were back in the day. See, like.
Oh shit! There's no way.
There's a little C and a thing there. And if this is an inspiring story, I drew that card because I was playing Magic the Gathering when I was about 11 in school.
Oh man. So
I heard about it from a neighbor, and she gave me like all these cards. I was like, oh, this is so cool, and you know, these drawings are so amazing. And I remember dreaming at that time, like, oh, I wish I could draw this for like a living someday, you know. And for the last 2.5 years, I've been doing Magic cards. So, you know.
That must be like amazing. Right?
Yeah, it is amazing to see your own stuff on those cards. I don't play the game anymore, but just the idea that, you know, because it's like everyone's just people, you know, like all this amazing stuff that young aspiring artists see. It's not done, like none of these guys are gods, you know, they're all normal people. It's just a matter of hard work and discipline and practice and persistence and, you know, being positive minded and keep trying and so on and so on. And eventually you will get there, like everyone can get there. It's not a matter of talent.
It's so hard to like tell people that sometimes talent doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it matters, but I think of a talent as a sensibility to certain things, not an ability to do them. You know, it's just it always takes practice to do things, and I don't really believe in talent anymore.
No, like to be honest, I think the whole talent thing it's bullshit. Like
Right?
I have my own sort of metaphor that I use for it, that I always say over and over again. It's like see learning a skill as climbing the top of a building. Anything. It doesn't have to be art. It can be, you know, carpentry or whatever. And so you're starting at the ground floor and you want to get at the top, which is a sort of mastership of the craft, you know. Everyone can get to the top. The thing is, the people who have talent, they take the elevator. So they go up much faster because there's something in them, is it in their genes or, you know, I don't know what, that just allows them to learn fast and see fast and, you know, adapt fast. Other people, they have to take the stairs. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take longer, but eventually you can get there as well, you know, like you just have to, you know, you have to be a little bit more persistent and you have to have a little bit more, you know, willpower to do it. But it's not impossible. Like everyone can do it, you know.
It's the same.
The talent is just like a little boost that people have, and I know that it's for some people it's
It's like a catalyst. Just
yeah, exactly.
makes it faster, but
Yeah.
if you don't train your abilities, he will not be, you know, at the same level as someone who's pretty hardworking, even if he hasn't the same kind of talent. Let's talk about it, and it's just hard work.
Exactly, and I mean,
how much you devote your life to it.
exactly. Like, I mean, if you're gonna go out partying all the time, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna spend 1 hour, and you know, I'll get there. Well, yeah, you might get there, but you know, it might take you 10 years instead of 5 years. Like, in the end, you have to do X amount of hours, talent or no talent, doesn't really matter. Like, you will have to do X amount of hours of practice to get to a certain level. Period. Like, that's all there's to it.
If you really know, if you really know that you really want to do this, you put aside everything and focus on it.
Exactly. Like I sacrificed a lot of, you know, good times with friends to sit in front of my computer and paint. My friends would be like, "Oh, dude, come on, you know, come out partying and you know, come do this and come do that." I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm just gonna stay here." And like, "Oh, you hermit." But you know, like, I've got a pretty comfortable career and job now. And I can do whatever I want. And some of those friends, they're still sort of stuck in the same, you know, the same sort of you know, unsatisfying lifestyle as they were back then. Because you know, it's about priorities. You know, like you have to have certain priorities in your life.
Same for me. I'm 21.
Work hard, play hard. So
exactly.
Yeah, I'm 21 right now, and I'm just breaking in the industry. I'm professional I mean, professional, that sounds crazy, but you know, I'm just doing stuff for money for 1 year, and yeah, I have to do a lot of sacrifices on the daily basis. I see a lot of people in my age, because I'm not studying at college or anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm self-taught, and I'm occasionally trying to get some knowledge from schools like What's Atelier I have attended. But a lot of people, you know, at my age are just do not think that much. I mean, it's not that they should, but it's just a way different. It's a different way of living, really. It's thinking about different things. And I may be sorry for myself that I haven't that period of time in my life when I was partying. But
you still do it, man. It's not too late.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're 21. That's super young. Like, I mean, when I was your age, I was you know, I was in school drawing animation films. Like, I didn't even know about this job. I didn't even know it existed. So
yeah, I knew about it from high school, and it was just freaking, I'm gonna do it, and I just fucking, you know.
See, that drive is so important, because that's what like separates you from the masses, you know. And that's something that clients see as well. Like, I notice it. If clients feel like you have passion for what you do, and like they see that you help people and that you know, post stuff and that you're active, like, okay, this person's passionate about it. And the passion's important, because you know, in the end, it's about the art, you know, and about the love for art. And yeah, people like people who are passionate about stuff, you know. Not only clients, like it's the same for, you know, someone. If you're interested in a girl or a guy, like, you know, passion is attractive, you know, like people like that kind of thing, because it's a sort of drive that you have, you know, sort of will to live and create.
The force, man.
Yeah,
just that, I think.
As you said, guys, that it's just about devoting to it, and if you are whole of your life is into it, I understand what Wojtek said, because I'm in the same age as he, a bit older, 1 year, 22, and I still live with each day. I'm trying to fulfill as best as I can with the art I love, and I think it's just essential to keep you, you know, just working hard on it and believe it. The dreams come true one day, and pursuing your dreams and just fulfilling what you are here for on the earth. So
exactly.
So, Jonas, would you recommend going to art school?
I would.
I love how you like breathe
Not
out.
really. Like, I mean, it depends. You know, like I would recommend going to a specialized art school. Like if you have the money to go to FCD, go to FCD. You know, do that. But for example, and definitely Europe. Like I love Europe, but in terms of art schools in Europe, Europe's shit because they try to make you do like arty-farty crap that's never gonna land you a job unless you want to illustrate, you know, children's books your entire life. Which there's nothing wrong with it, but you know, like if you want to be a concept artist, if that's what you want to do, don't go to an art school in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had the same question to myself. When I was figuring out what I want to do, um, I picked some art school from London, and actually I wasn't able to get to go there,
Yeah.
and that was like really luck. Just after my high school, I got rejected. So I was thinking, hey, it wasn't the thing I was about to do anyway. So let's do what I love. I loved playing games when I was young, like Knights of the Republic or I don't know. These games are just stuck in me, and they are creating that drive that is really, you know. And I was thinking, hey, somebody have to create all that stuff, right? So it has to be the most fun job ever, and I'm gonna do it. And then I figured out, fuck, that art school really. I didn't even like the instructors, you know, work or portfolios. So how they could really affect me in a good way. So I was looking for places where teachers were as impressive as I wanted, you know, to become. You know what I mean? So I found the California kind of place where there's a lot of this is like a hub for concept art. There's so much people out there doing their work, and like the Hollywood is there and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to learn fundamentals, so I found the Watts Atelier, and I was studying there for like 3 or 4 months. It was very intense for like 9 to 10 hours per day, just drawing with charcoal and doing like anatomy studies and studying masters, because I wanted to learn basic stuff. But this school is really different from the schools you are able to attend in Europe, because it's just
Wojtek, let me tell you something. From my experience, I went to the school here in Poland.
And
to
regular art school, right?
Yeah, and to complement what Wojtek told, I can tell you that when I visited last time the Norman workshops in school, it just showed me what are the differences between the schools in Poland and in the US, and how the schedules look, how the basics are practiced. It's divided into just normal sculpture, drawing, painting, and all that stuff. And even if after that you can apply it into your computer and digital medias, it's amazing how they are open for that kind of stuff. In Poland, it's not that possible. To be fair, I'm not attending that much into my school because I don't have the time. I prefer to work alone and be self-taught. But if I had a chance to be in that school like in Gnomon, the schedule and all the program schedule looks pretty amazing for the artists who are working in that industry later. It's just
it's cheaper to get a good education in concept art than to, for example, go to.
It's also about the authorities in this environment when I've been. I also met a lot of nice people, but the program and the schedule and the other things like some personalities doesn't fit to your, what you really want from that school, and the things which are pretty conservative. and not pretty open for new medias like we do, and everything is criticized. I don't have any willingness to be attend and be a part of that kind of environment in this situation. So yeah, I really miss it. That in here there are not a school with Wojtek or something we can just attend and have a fun with.
Yeah, because we both don't think we are there, right? We are still learning.
Yes.
We are struggling with freelance and trying our best to provide the best work we can. But I, for example, feel still that I need a lot of education,
Yes.
and the only like place that I want to study right now, it's like Concept Design Academy, or that is in LA, and that's the only place I see myself, because it's cheap, really cheap in terms of fees. They have like the best instructors. Even Jamie Jones is teaching there. So
and it makes you fulfilling every time you just go there and you have the feeling that yes, it's pretty exciting at another day in the school. It's not like just going here in Poland, for example, and going to school. A lot of people are just drunk. And that's true. That it's pretty sad, but it's true. And the feeling that everything is criticized, what you do, what you did, it's no get the hell out of it. And what the fuck are you doing, man? It's not the art. It's not the art what you do with your PC and tablet. It's just.
Oh, so they were discriminating you, right?
Yes, exactly. It's just like pointing the people like white people and black people. So it doesn't sit well.
Yeah, that's just sad, and also, there are exceptions, and do not take everything we say for granted. There are great art schools that you can attend, like regular universities, like Art Center or something. But still, keep your eyes open and just,
Yeah, the thing that I want to add to it is that
go ahead.
Sorry go ahead.
No, you go first. I'll say it after.
Okay, so it's also about the support of the students. Every time I try to talk with my friends at school, they are still complaining about this not enough support from the people who are in the tip of the school, and they are just focused on themselves. So it's pretty harsh to see that students are just the people who just go by and trying to be artists, but actually they are not. There are also a lot of talented people, but if the teachers or mentioners they don't support their students enough, it just can make the students going into the empty room and into the nowhere.
Yeah,
so go ahead, Jonas.
Well, the thing it's more like the reason that I think that this is, you have to sort of see it from a sort of historical point of view, is that if you go to art school in Europe, you're basically going for a fine arts degree, and that's because ever since the Second World War, Europe has not been, in terms of arts and film and those kind of things, has not been as commercially minded as America was. So like America just has a long-running history of being commercially minded, and I think this commercial mindedness is something that Europeans and definitely schools sort of, in a way they must have envied America for being so successful with it. So they sort of, their way of coping with it is by going against it. Like it's kind of childish if you think about it. For example, I noticed this in my studies. I studied animation, and if you do animation in the States, you are learning animation in terms of, like in function of working in a studio. So one person will do storyboards, and then one person will do, in-betweens, and one person will do this. If you study animation in most European schools, you will have to do everything yourself, because it's not studio-minded, because they're just trying to sort of, teach you an all-around skill set, and then, allow you to explore yourself what you're going to do with them. And it's not always bad, like it's not entirely bad. And I think the thing is that if you go to school here, if you're in art school here and you feel like they're sort of not allowing you to do your own thing, is that you just have to push through basically. That's what I did. Like the first few years, they would just be like, "Oh man, what are you doing? Like, stop trying to draw stuff realistically. Like stylized." And I was like, "No, that's not my thing. I want to do this." And but after a while, usually if you're good, they can't fail you. If you're good enough, if you do what you have to do and you're good enough, they can't fail you. And I think if you do it long enough, usually they'll sort of turn around. And I guess then the benefits of doing that kind of education is that you'll have more of a broad understanding. It won't be as applicable in the work field directly, but you will have a wider understanding. Because you do learn stuff here. It's not like you don't learn stuff. It's just it's a different approach. It's just a different approach of teaching you things, and it's not like you don't see. And definitely if you're a student, because you're younger and a bit more stupid, to put it frankly, you don't see like the real world application straight away of what you learn here. You don't see how am I going to apply this to a job. In the States, it's much more practical. You see the real world application because that's what you're trained to do, and you kind of got a heads up because you're doing that kind of stuff earlier.
And also, what is really cool about this industry, in illustration and concept art in particular, it's very open. Like the people are sharing the knowledge all over the place, and that's what's really amazing about this whole industry, and that's a phenomenon, I think, because I didn't see like that much enthusiasm when I was doing just a design, right? Like logos and stuff. It was really hard for me to find any good source of knowledge for that. And with concept art and digital painting, it's very easy, and it's really easy to teach yourself. So
well, nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays that's true.
It's getting better, definitely. Yeah, it's getting much better.
Yeah. All right.
It's good point, Wojtek. I've also met few people with pretty legendary status when they are working as traditional painter when I was in US, and it also seems to be like another environment. The people are just looking at you like not that open. They are not pretty open with suggestions and tips. They want to hide as much as they can.
That's just insecurity, I think.
Yes.
About their own, work.
Yes. But even if they are pretty well known and they are kind of just masters, it's pretty interesting. It also depends on the personalities. But if you look at this industry, it's much more open than the normal traditional industry. So.
Yeah, that's because artists are just cool guys.
Yeah. Cool guys making cool pictures and shit. Yeah, awesome.
And share the love to art.
All right, another question. Are you happy working in the gaming industries? Is it a fulfilling career so far?
Yes, I'm a very happy person.
Oh.
Getting paid to draw spaceships is pretty damn awesome. There's no one who can deny it, really,
Yeah.
So obviously you're going to be quite happy. But that being said, I do know a lot of people who are not that happy and who do this because in the end it's still a job and there's still stress and frustrations and anything that you do for a long time can become a drag, no matter how cool it is. So you have to be realistic about that kind of stuff. And don't forget to live, that's the most important thing. Don't forget to enjoy your life, basically.
Yeah. All right. So you're a happy man, doing happy things.
Drawing deer, happy deer.
With 9 heads or so. Awesome.
It's good for you. It's not horny deer, as we made some pic in one of the first sessions.
Horny deer.
Darek was painting not a deer, but a boar. I think
it was boar. Yes, it was deer. Boar.
It was so over the top. I mean, oh god, that's awesome.
And still a lot of horny things. That's
Horny bored. That's only your only you can come up with something.
yeah.
Alright.
And yeah, okay.
Another question. Oh, that's a good one. We were talking about that. So, when using your reference pictures within your paintings, do you not encounter problems with copyright holders? Are you allowed to use them in the work you produce for employers, or is there a way around the copyright?
Well, you got to destroy the original picture. That's the safest thing to do. But that being said, copyrights on pictures is a massive gray area in the industry, and everywhere that you will work, and artists can deny it, but everywhere you will work, you will see people using stuff that they got off Google Images, and they have no idea who made it or who's it from, and what are the usage possibilities. I try to use my own textures and things like that as often as I can. I have quite a big library of images that I know that I'm allowed to use, but I still use stuff that I find on Google. And my way of dealing it is just trying to destroy the image as much as possible. Like you've seen now that, well, actually now I haven't really used anything yet. But basically, like if you texture something, like it's sort of an unspoken rule. If you use something to texture and you paint over it and you distort it and skew it and colorize it, then it's kind of okay. I don't know if it's really, but it's kind of okay. If you use something and you literally copy it or steal it, and you can see like that the overall image is taken from someone else, that's not okay. And I guess it comes down to sort of judgment, like personal, like what your beliefs are, that what is fair use. And I guess you can't really draw. It's hard to draw a line there sometimes because some people will have different opinions on this. But yeah, it's a gray area, definitely. There's no denying it.
Yeah, thank you for honesty, because it's very hard to get like a really good answer for that question when you are asking professionals. Yeah. Because they tend to be, I think, scared that the work would be perceived as worse because they use like everything they find. I don't know why is it so gray, but yeah, I think it's still really
it happens all the time. Like I can tell you, like we were talking about before we went live. Like I've seen professional work in film where concepts are painted on top of other concepts. Like literally a concept taken from the internet that the production designer or the director likes, and they'll say like, make us something like that. And the guy goes, okay, but I don't have time to do from scratch. Okay, paint over it, change it 30%, and you're good, Mm-hmm. And that happens, like that happens all the time.
Yeah, because it's all money, right? This is a production pipeline. There's no kind of, shortest way possible to get the result.
Exactly.
So.
And to be honest, like I'm all for like free sharing. Like I don't care if people take my stuff and build on top of it. I think it's cool, like I think it's nice how we sort of build on each other's ideas and how we improve on each other's ideas. As long as you just don't you don't steal it and claim that the actual work is your own. But if you're creative with it, I personally don't mind. Like for whoever's listening now, you can take any of my work and make them derivative of it, and I don't mind. Like by all means, go loose and show me the end results. I'll be excited to see it.
That's like an opposite of what the regular kind of a guy would say. Yes. So I'm pretty surprised you just told that, but it's amazing. You're just so open that it's cool that you see that all the stuff you take is also the stuff you can give, right?
Yeah, so, like I try to give as much as I can. Like I make textures, they're free. You can download all the textures for free on CG Textures. I've made thousands. I've spent so much time into this. I give brushes away, brushes from me, brushes from other people. I give lessons. I've done, like if you buy some magazines from Imagine Effects, like 3D artists and fantasy artists and all those Imagine Effects, I do tutorials in those as well. So like, I think it's give and take. but I'm all for open and free sharing of everything, and because it's about the art in the end, you know. And people sort of forget about that. Like they get so caught up in this whole, oh man, this guy's better than me and he's gonna steal my job. Who cares, man? Like, if you're secure about your job, you don't need to worry about competition. You'll find work.
Yeah, it's so abstract, that kind of a fear. It's very abstract, and yeah, you are just a concept art hippie, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Peace, love, and share. Nice. Yeah, I'm all for that, really. Yeah, I'm not really obsessed with, you know, I tend to see concept art police going on Facebook lately, like, oh, stop, you just used that and you weren't allowed to do that, and you know, like the people that aren't really connected with you are just exposing stuff that you did, and they're showing like you in a bad light, and it's,
yeah.
I just find it as so rude, and I don't know if I
Well,
have
again,
no.
it's a gray area, you know, like.
So for some people, it's just a crime, right?
Yeah. I think it comes down to personal judgment, really. Like, you know, if I see something that's literally copied and, you know, and you put your own name on it, okay, I'll say, like, that's not cool. I won't make a big fuss about it because, you know, people do it. But usually you'll find out, like, you know, like people take my work and put it places without crediting me. And I have a lot of people, a lot of fans who actually play police for me, which I'm very grateful for. Like, they'll send me a link and they say, like, someone used your work here, is that okay? But usually I'm like, yeah, that's fine, you know, like, credit me, you know, you don't have to, but, you know, please do. But if you know, if you see another guy and he, you know, he's got a cool shoulder pad, and, you know, you take that shoulder pad and you flip it around and you know, paste some rivets on it, and you take a bit out and you add this, and, you know, like, you're building on top of someone else's ID. I don't really see the problem with that if you end up making your own ID, you know, like, I don't see what the big deal is, to be honest. But some people are different, you know, that's my personal opinion.
It's a gray area, right?
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
But I'm sure in a production pipeline, that totally wouldn't be a problem.
No, it happens all the time.
I saw, for example, Sergey Kolesov, Peleng. I bet you know him.
Yeah.
You can see the tendency that the stuff he does for companies and for work, these are mostly like 3D photos, everything, painting, everything, like, combined. But the stuff he does for himself, it's all painting. It's not like, this guy found his balance by working with, you know, any tool possible, like, you know, taking from any source he possibly can, and then he does stuff for himself that makes him, you know, a painter, right?
Yes.
So that's also, I think, great way to balance yourself, doing your personal stuff, and have a different rules for that, and different rules for doing stuff for money, because it all changes while
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's still an industry, and it's all about making money, and, you know, ethics, as we all know, with big corporations, ethics don't always come first.
Yeah. We have a pretty cool question from Toma. All right. My question fits any of the hosts. I'm 27 years old, and I became a fan of concept art last year. I have been working hard and drawing, painting every day. Do you have any special advice for a person of my age? I tend to stress on how late I am into the game.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah, nobody
No.
asks you for the age when you are getting a job, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't matter. A lot of people who work in the industry are, you know, in their 40s, 50s, even older. And it's not like learning a language that it becomes. I mean, maybe learning tools can become a little bit harder, but not when you're 27. I mean, come on. Like, it doesn't matter. If you're insecure, it's just because you haven't spent enough time practicing and you're not seeing the results yet. But that's normal, you know. A lot of people who are good, they might have been drawing their entire lives, and you can't forget about what that does to a person. If you start drawing when you're 6 or 8 years old, like, you're actually already practicing, you know, and every bit counts.
Every hour, right?
Yeah, it all counts. Everything you do counts. So, you know, just my advice would be, you know, spend a lot of time learning because you've got a long way to go.
Work your ass off, right?
Yeah, work your ass off because you're gonna have to.
Yeah. So age doesn't matter.
No.
You shouldn't feel like you are too late in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when you see 18 years old Japanese pulling off like Kuchara style painting, it's crazy, right? But you can do it, and
I think it's great.
yeah, of course it's great, but it can make you feel bad because you're 27 and you're just starting out, right? And this guy is 18.
To be honest, I don't really care. Like.
Yeah, but probably Thomas, right?
Yeah, I know that a lot of people get discouraged by this, but age is such a social stigma, you know, like it really doesn't matter that much. It's like it's a number, but you know, like this. I think we give age way more value than it should have, you know, because besides the fact that it's a number, you know, like it's relative, you know, like some people are young and they're very grown up, and some people are old and they're very childish. It all depends, you know.
It's just up to you. If you feel that you love it, you can just dive into it utterly and don't stop, and you know, just go ahead with that. If you really feel that you want to do this, you will not be sitting and crying in the corner that someone at your age or younger is better.
Exactly. Yeah. That's definitely not going to help.
Yeah, and this industry is really open to people at any age, and that's also an advantage, right?
Yeah, they don't care how old you are or what you studied. If you're good, you're good. If you're professional, you're professional.
Yeah, even education doesn't matter as you have a good portfolio, right?
Right.
I mean, sometimes it can be. You can be judged by your education. It may be an advantage.
I've never had it.
But it's maybe it's on in other positions, like, you know, just teaching or something. But it doesn't really matter in practical.
If you can provide a good quality for a certain price and a certain amount of time, nobody will ask you for like anything.
Yeah. I've never been asked for my degree ever. Okay. I don't even know if I still have my degree. It's probably somewhere in a basement, dying, you know.
Okay, there's tons of questions in here. Tons, like freaking. Oh God, I keep.
Wojtek, I think it will be the best overpainting so far.
I don't think it's like an overpainting per se, but it's even better, I think, because we can see from the scratch how
how it's done, how it's from the beginning.
Well, I'm trying to sort of keep this style. Like I'm trying not to do too much in a concept, because he's got like a certain style, you know. Like I think this is, I don't know, probably like Princess Mononoke inspired or something like that.
I wonder if you add some sunbeams at the end.
Sorry, what? I didn't hear that bit.
I wonder if you add some sunbeams.
Oh yeah,
it's a huge sunbeam fan.
Of course, of course I'm gonna add sunbeams.
Oh shit. So you got a friend, man.
I'm gonna go wet.
Oh shit. Alright, sunbeam. Oh man, you got a brush for sunbeam, right?
Yeah, I'm ready. Normally I actually.
Bam.
Oh jeez.
Oh fuck yeah. There you go, Darek.
Yeah.
You happy now, bastard?
My heart is yours right now.
Oh shit. It's okay. You're just, oh god. I see you are not flipping canvas that much. I tend to do it.
Yeah. I usually do it, like I've done it a few times, but the thing is, like, I don't really have to change the composition because I'm
copying. Yeah, because it works in the first place.
Yeah, because I'm just copying what he has, so like I don't have to flip it that much.
Yeah, these sunbeams, bro. I guess people will love that sunbeams.
Of course, everybody loves sunbeams.
Oh shit. Nice.
It's looking amazing.
Yeah, Darek, go. Yeah, marry him, man. Sunbeam.
Sorry, Marta.
Yeah, girlfriend out. Sunbeam wins. Right. Any more questions? All right, that's answered.
I have. I got a good question, but I don't think it's for this moment. Maybe Wojtek, let's find something.
Oh shit! He was
Oh
kicked.
no!
Damn it! You know, that's
It's
shit.
too much awesomeness in the one place, and he just
Too much
dropped.
awesomeness. That's. I think he knows that.
Yeah, he will be back, I guess.
Go pod, bro.
A lot
Yeah,
of
sorry.
questions on the chat. Will Wojtek see it?
Yeah. Yep. We'll get through them, but let's get our guest back.
Okay,
Oh
he is.
yeah. Man, don't be angry like that. Why are you living? Jonas, are you there?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I just dropped out for a minute.
Okay.
Oh shit. Were you just like mad at Darek that he wants to marry you or something?
No, I just had some explaining to do to my boyfriend, and he pulled
Oh
out
shit.
the cable.
Okay.
No!
No,
You're mine!
sorry guys, I have to leave.
Oh, that's a good question. Is it hard to make a living from art? Yes.
Yes and no. I mean,
Yes and no. Yeah, that's true.
yeah. I mean, I would. Well, okay. So,
Depends. It depends. Okay, Jonas, go ahead, Jonas.
well, there's this discussion I had with a girl in NPC a couple of days ago. So, my philosophy is, because like working with clients, it's a power game a lot of time, and you want to be the one who makes the demands. For example, I'm sure if you get an email from someone for like a potential job, if you get an email from someone who's not a big company, they'll say like, hey, Wojtek, I really like your work. I'm doing an album for my band. Do you want to make the cover? How much would you charge? And you will say, oh, I charge that much. Take or leave.
Mm-hmm.
If a big company contacts you, like let's say that Wizards of the Coast contacts you and they're like, okay, hey Wojtek, we really like your work. Do you want to make cards for Magic the Gathering? And you say yes. They'll say like, okay.
I would say shit yes.
Well, okay, but they will say we will pay you this much per card.
Uh-huh.
And you don't get to choose how much you want to get paid per card, like because that's their rate, period.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to illustrate with this is that it's a power game, and a big company will make the demands because they have the power, and if you decline, then they'll just find someone else.
That's true. I've been
If you're trying to break into the industry.
Yeah.
The way that a lot of people do it, I don't really know about game companies because I've mostly worked in film companies. But if you want to break into a film company, you'll usually start off as an assistant or a runner, something like that, and then slowly work your way up. Now, I don't really think that people should do that. Like, I think you're better off sitting at home in your bedroom, painting, and weed, I don't care, but building on your portfolio first, being so good that the company will want to hire you, rather than going in as a runner and then trying to work your way up. Because the problem is that for companies, it's comfortable to keep people at a low position because they have to, it makes sense. They have to sort of budget, like they have to sort of choose who they're going to spend their budget on, and the people, the talents, the people who can, ask a lot of money, they will run off with most of the budget, and then they'll have to cut somewhere else. And those are going to be the assistants and, people with a lower grade job. So if you're trying to work yourself up that way, there's a chance that the company's going to try to keep you in that position, and then it's going to take a very long time for you to climb up to, let's say, concept artist or matte painter or something that you really want to do. Because, like if you're good at making coffee, then, why would they hire someone else to make coffee?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So you were just stay where you are and try to practice as much as possible and get as the high possible level as
continue,
possible. Yeah, and then apply for work or get work. Than
Well,
just
the thing is, if you're really good, you don't even have to apply for work.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know, I mean, they'll find you. That's just how it goes. Like, if
if you are doing good work and putting it out there, also. Yeah. So, yeah, I also have seen the same tendency in my work. My work, like, hit a certain level lately that it just, more people were interested in seeing it.
Yeah.
And people, like, jobs are just became really easy to get because they were just coming to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, just because of my work. I haven't sent any job apply in my life, any. And just because I don't even have a portfolio site, and that's not good, right? But I'm just starting out. I'm building it right now. But really, I didn't even have like a site for my work. I just only had like a DeviantArt or CG Hub or that kind of stuff. So basically, what you need is a killer work.
Exactly. You need to be out there.
Yes, that will speak for. That's true. Yeah, and it will do, I think, 80% of the thing, like just the way your work looks like. I mean, the rest is marketing, putting yourself out there, talking to people, friends, right? Communities and stuff. Yeah. So, is it hard to make a living from art? That was the question. Oh, yeah.
The answer is yes and no still.
Yeah, still.
It also depends on how you negotiate with your clients and what are your rules for making the art, and if you are, just how your day fit into your work. So how many hours will you spend on it, and how you develop and divide your own time. Don't forget, if you are a freelancer, you are a boss on your own. So it's up to you how much would you charge and how much time would you spend on it if it's worth that money.
Yeah.
All right, quickie one. What tablet do you use? Oh, right.
That doesn't matter. I've used an Intuos 3, a very old one, for years. I'm now drawing on an Intuos 5, but I only bought this because I was traveling and I didn't have a tablet with me, and this one fits in my backpack. But like, it really doesn't matter. I've worked on a very old tablet for many, many years, and
so the tablet is the least thing you should worry about.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
I mean, it should be a Wacom, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you want pressure sensitivity and
It should be just working.
You want doesn't matter, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, let me choose another one.
I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
What is the best source to get inspired for concept art landscapes?
The world.
Yeah. It's probably too wide question. So
the world.
Yeah, that's true. The travels.
Yeah, right? Go places. Watch. What I do is I watch documentaries from BBC that are amazing, and I see a place and I'm like, holy crap, what's that? Where is that? I want to go there, and then write it down. And there's beautiful places everywhere. You don't have to travel really far to go somewhere nice. If you're in Europe, I would recommend going to Iceland, because Iceland will blow your mind.
Actually, I'm going there this summer because my friend from Poland, from high school, just got there.
Yeah.
I mean, not just got there, but is working and studying there for quite a bit of time, and I'm really excited about it because I heard it's like in New Zealand in Europe or something.
Yeah, but it's a different vibe, like New Zealand's. Iceland's very sort of volcanic looking and sort of grim. It feels very outworldly, like New Zealand is like the beauty of Earth, like the most beautiful version of that you could find, planet Earth. Iceland is more like what it would be like if you're going to another planet. For example, Prometheus was shot in Iceland, Oblivion was shot in Iceland. So these are all like those kind of landscapes is what you can expect, you know.
Nice. All right. So I'm excited about this one. Yeah, and it's funny what they have with these flights out there. Like, there's only a couple of planes flying out there from Poland, for example, because they have like half a year. Their airports are just closed for any flights. That's pretty funny because the weather, I think, is just too bad.
No, it depends. Yeah, but yeah. All right.
Do you have any drawing workout to keep improving?
Sorry?
Do you have any drawing workout to keep improving?
What do you mean with the workout?
I mean, for example, that's the question from Finch. It's do you do like I don't know, any daily kind of a training you
practice schedule.
Yeah, studies or anything.
The stuff that I put on Facebook is my training.
Okay.
Yeah, most of it at least. Yeah, I mean, I don't really put client work on Facebook. Also because a lot of it is either NDA or just I don't think it's that exciting, you know. It's no, production work is a lot of times not that exciting. But yeah, I do sketch sometimes. Like if you live in London, it's really good because there's a lot of free museums, so you can sketch there, which is nice.
There's technically questions for you, Jonas.
Yeah.
Every time I use the lasso tool, the edges come out looking jagged. Is there a way I can adjust it to get smooth lines? It's from Victor.
Yeah, there's a small anti-alias button here that's probably not on.
Yeah.
If you put that on, it should be fine. You can also use the refine edge here. So yeah, just play with the settings on the top. That's it, basically.
Yeah, cool. I mean, the piece is coming out.
Yeah, I mean, like I can work on this for another hour, but I think the basic idea is sort of there, you know.
Yeah, can you maybe just do a post-production to it, like your take on that, and like in another group, so we can see how do you work with grading your image. That would be cool. And I think we will be wrapping up after that because it's already 2 hours and 15 minutes. And yeah, there's tons of questions that we have unanswered. That means...
Well, shoot.
Yeah, all right. So, what is the importance of photobashing 3D kits in today's concept art scene? Is it required skill? I think we answered that a bit.
It's speed.
Yeah, it's just speed, right? So yes, it is necessary to have these skills, I think, especially in game or film industry. In opposed to illustration, when sometimes you have time to render it out from the scratch, right? But sometimes not always. So yeah, I would learn 3D and photobash as soon as possible. It would definitely boost my how my work looks and make it more attractive to potential clients. So definitely.
It's pretty easy if you just leave the work to someone who is not that skilled, and he will be trying to fit the photos and make a photo bashing. You will immediately see his knowledge about just light and colors and saturations, values, and all that stuff, aerial perspective. If he's not, familiar with that, it's impossible to make a good pictures with just photos without any basics or knowledge that is needed to just use it as a tool. Whether it is photo, is it a custom shape or custom brush, it's just another tool, and you have to have some knowledge to get to use it.
Yeah, you have to be aware of that your skills are transcendent in terms of medium you use. It takes time to learn a medium. Like, for example, if I have a skill of grading images together and put photo bashing skills, it probably I have a knowledge about value structure, about anatomy, probably about certain things. Jonas is out. Yeah.
Okay, but go ahead with your.
Yeah, let's wait for him. I'm almost sure that you will be able to get into a really good level as soon as you will start practicing a new medium. For example, if I would like to learn oils while I was just doing photo bashing before, it would be totally doable, and I could transcend the medium, transcend my skills into another medium really, really fast. Yeah, Jonas, maybe just finish your
Yeah, I dropped out again, but
grading.
the screen share is not working anymore.
Oh shit.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think it's pretty similar questions to what we've been told, but it's from Jonathan, and I think we can just put it on the desk. About improving into our art skills, what do you guys think are the main habits we have to develop? So maybe I will start with just being patient and studying hard, working hard, and pursuing for your dreams, for what you really love to make. And how do you make it? It's only up to you. And yeah, I think it's essential to just throw yourself into it, and not only go out if you are young, for example, you go out and be drunk, and you after that you go home and think, oh man, it's another last day when I really wanted to paint something. It has to be balanced with your party and your work life, your passion, and what you really want to do with your life. It's like the guys told, it's probably never too late if you really feel that you have to start it. So it's about devotions, and I think making yourself more focused on it is just essential to get started, to be pretty into it. So that's my point for how do you think, guys?
Yeah, you're right, totally right. So you're just applying a color dodge.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra highlights. I think I don't really have to grade it. Like, to be honest, I do post grading less and less. I kind of think that if you understand color and you apply the right colors from the beginning, you don't really have to grade your image that much anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Like for me, it's always been a sort of way of hiding the fact that the colors weren't right from the get-go, you know.
Yeah, that's the purpose, right?
Yeah. So actually, I think these colors are fine.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Looks amazing, actually. Like, can you show before and after? And I think
I'll put them next to each other, actually.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, a couple more questions, and I think we'll be done in here. All right. Technical stuff. In which document size do you usually work? Like.
Speed painting is quite small, actually, like 2,000 pixels wide, and then professional work up to 5,000, 10,000, whatever you need. You know, the more detail, the more size, but you know, if your computer's chugging, you might want to turn it down. To be honest, it doesn't really matter, you know, like as long as you have a minimum amount of pixels that you can work with, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it's dependable on the project also you are working on, right? Or is it software, or is it a speed painting or anything? Yeah. So
we got final picture in here.
Yeah, amazing. Just amazing. Thank you for joining us today. I think you were just devoting your free time to share your knowledge and your experiences. It was totally inspiring to hear that stuff from you.
Thank
you. To have you here. And
yeah, we learned a lot from this.
Yeah,
workflow, and yeah, the way you get inspired and all the things are getting into one place. So it's amazing. Thanks, man.
I'm really sad that we couldn't afford to answer all the questions, but there's like 200 of them, and it would be really impossible to get through all of them. So I just wanted to pick the major ones. I think, yeah, we got through some of them, and that's pretty cool. All right, so guys,
maybe Wojtek,
yeah.
let's maybe choose the few of them and put them into the level up group, some responses, or maybe we can just talk with.
Yeah, maybe we'll see how to answer them in a different way.
Yes.
So again, just want to thank you, Jonas, for joining us today. If you want to see his work, if you probably know him if you're here, so basically follow him on Facebook, right? Just type in his name and just go there and follow him, and go to DeviantArt, go anywhere he is, and just support him, because he's like you see, just a great person and really open-minded and really amazing to talk to. Yeah, I think that's it.
It was pretty great.
So
pretty great
about the level up, we will put the PSDs actually online for you to download to see a breakdown of what Jonas just did. It will be up in a couple of minutes. Damn, he's out.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah.
Too early, but we want to thank again for all the submissions to the group, and we will make another session in next week, and it's gonna be with huge guy too. So stay tuned for more information. We should post it pretty soon, and share our event, share us, and subscribe us, and keep waiting for another session. We are a lot of energy about it, and we pretty want to share with you a lot of things, a lot of special guests. So yeah.
Yeah, we will be also creating like a site for everything we do, and it will go, for example, like levelupsessions.com, when you will find all the things we do with the group. So you can easily follow everything. Like you will find there PSDs from certain people. You will find the sessions. You will find. Yeah. So
sorry, Wojtek, for interrupt. I just noticed that we have a lot of email messages. So people who just send us emails to our group email. We have it and we notice it, and we will try to get it on our desk in upcoming events. So don't hesitate to send us emails, and not only to the post to the group. So we are watching, and we are seeing all the messages, and yeah, keep just.
Yeah, actually, Jonas wrote to me just right now on Facebook that his internet connection is down. He was writing from his mobile, so he wants to give the best to all of you, and thanks for coming and watching him. And yeah, the best you can do right now is follow his work, and just as a support for him for joining us today.
Yes.
That was a pleasure, really, and I think we see each other next Sunday, same time. And yeah, we have another big guest to announce. Just
stay tuned.
Tomorrow, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and see you. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.